Hi and welcome back to a new video and a surprise because I'm part of the design team of Art Anthology and I'm super excited to share my first project for that design team with you. And I wanted to create some mixed media style cards using my gel press and Art Anthology velvet dimensional paints. These paints are really special because, as the name says, they are dimensional, so you can paint them and you can use them as a medium through stencils, etc. So I'm trying a few different techniques for my cards today, and we'll share more techniques as time continues and as I'm part of the design team, obviously. So I'm starting by putting some of the paints down onto my gel press, and that's the 5x7" one. And then I'm taking my white cardstock, and that's 110-pound cardstock that I always, that's the same cardstock that I use for all my cards, and press the cardstock onto the paint so it transfers directly on top of it. And I'm creating 4 cards, so I'm monoprinting 4 different designs onto the cards. And I'm always using the paint from the card before the rest of it, and then some new paint to change the pattern and to change the colors. And that's how I basically move along. So, and I started with a yellow and an orange, and then I went to a little deeper red, and now I'm going back to a lighter orange. And basically the first layer is going to be oranges and reds, and then I'm adding a second layer on top after the first layer is dry. And you see it's rather easy. The 5x7 is perfect for cards, and in order to not have like all the paint on my fingers, I'm just using some sandwich wrap paper to cover the cardstock and take off the rest of the paint. And that's actually then how I clean my gel press too. I'm just pressing paper on top of it, and then the gel press is clean at one point. So layer 2 is using green and blue tones, and the same here. I'm using 2 different colors per card basically, but this time instead of just pressing the paint on top, so again I'm smearing it onto my gel press, so spreading it out, this time I'm using a stencil so that just parts of the paint go through. And what I'm doing here is I'm using again the the sandwich paper on top, but this time I'm using a brayer to roll over the sandwich paper so the cardstock really goes into the open spaces of the stencil, just so I get all the paint really through and onto the cardstock. And I'm not cleaning my stencil in the steps between because I'm using the other side again, so the clean side basically, to put my cardstock on top of it. And this way I really have an easy way. That's why I love monoprinting in general, because you don't need to clean as much. You don't need to clean in every step. You use the rest of the paint in your step going forward. Basically, you reuse everything. So, and now I'm using a different stencil. It's also a doily stencil, but Art Anthology has different designs. And guess what? I love all of them. So I have quite a few sitting here in my craft room. So again, using the brayer to really get into the nooks and crannies of the stencil to pick all the color up and then create a nice contrast. What is really interesting with monoprinting is that you can start mixing colors that are complementary and would normally create a brown. So because you layer things and you let them dry, it is really interesting here that you can now mix paints that at least I wouldn't usually mix while they are wet, because then you get like those yucky browns. You can create a layer here with, for example, that red orange, and then you can layer a green on top and it doesn't look entirely brown and muddy. It looks like, well, red and green, right? So that's why I really like monoprinting and like to try different colors together and add different layers, because it still looks like one layer, but you created everything while the layer below was dry and nothing, muddies up. Okay, so now creating the actual card. So I cut it down a little bit. What I usually do for 5.5 by 4.25 cards, I usually create a frame, a black frame, which is 1/8 of an inch smaller, and then the actual focal image is another 1/8 of an inch smaller. And so I cut all the pieces into the right size, and then I'm starting to add my final touches to those cards, starting with this one where I add the word life with the black leather jacket Sorbet on top, and there you can see that you can use them as a gel, as a medium, and like even get dimension through stencils. And then the next two cards, I use the cotton velvet color, and I love it because it's not entirely opaque. It has like, it is a little bit shine through, but it has a really pretty shimmer, and you will see it in the close-up photos later on. It has a really pretty shimmer on top, so it fits perfect to the stars that I'm using here. So card number 3 is using the word stencil again, and here I'm using the cotton this time to stencil the word dream through it, and I thought it fits perfectly because it's not entirely opaque. It will let the colors from below shine through a little bit. It fits perfectly. It looks like a dream then, basically. So again, 4th card, and here I'm using the stars again, this time a little bit different, not on the entire card, just at the bottom, but again with the cotton white, cotton velvet paint. And then I had to let everything dry, so that's how it is, but it dries rather fast. So it's, you can heat set it if you're in a hurry, and if you're not as patient as I am. Well, I'm not patient, but at least I tried, right? So you can let it sit and dry, or you can heat set it. It works perfectly fine. It doesn't take that long, so it's all good. You don't need to let it sit overnight or anything. So here you saw the really pretty shimmer of the cotton color, and now I'm stenciling, and that's another thing. So again, we saw that you can paint with those mediums. You can use them as a texture paste, and now you see that you can even use them to blend the color through a stencil. So it's incredibly versatile paints, mediums, whatever you want to call it. So the label says dimensional paint, so there you go. So you can really use them for a whole lot of things, and they create great effects no matter what you're doing with them. And obviously not only for cards, but in general for mixed media projects. By the way, I link all the paints that I use down below in the description box and over on the blog, so you can go there and check it out. Yeah, but basically these are my cards. Now following the final touches with just to make the word wish pop a little more, I'm adding a little outline with my black Posca pen, just to, yeah, have that outline and to have like the word popping a little more on the card. So here you can see the great shimmer again. The fun thing is the Sorbet colors, which the black leather one is, they have glitter inside. So now you have the shimmer from the cotton velvet color and from the black leather, but that's actually, so there's glitter versus shimmer, right? So the black leather actually has glitter in it. The cotton shimmers has a really pretty shimmer in it, and I just love it. I love when it's like a settled bling and not totally overpowering everything. And these are really perfect for that. Anyway, I'm starting to talk away again. Squirrel. I'm sorry about that. Again, I'm using the same technique that I'm blending the paint through the stencil for the second card. This time I'm using the word hope, because I thought it fits really perfect for that card too. And again, I'm outlining it with my black pen to make it pop a little more. In this case, I also add some white acrylic paint on top to just add a little bit more interest and to show that you can do different things depending on what you like. So here you can see just adding a little bit more white around it. And you can see I'm not really precise with that. I'm more dabbing around it than really drawing an outline. I just want to like have a hint of this on the card and not really like a straight line of everything. And again, then just adhering it onto my card base, and then I have my shimmery and sparkly card ready to go. I really like that shimmer. I'm sorry. Next up, my card with the word live, where I use the black leather as texture paste. And I'm adding a little ribbon around it, and just like break my fingers while I'm trying to get a pretty knot inside. I'm not the best bow binder, but I always try my best. And just wrapping it around to add it, have the bow underneath the word life. And then you guessed it, I put it onto my card base. and have my third card ready to go. And also the black leather, I really like how it shimmers when you look at it. Like when you use it as a dimensional paste, it really shimmers nicely. So last card, no huge extras here. I wanted to keep the word dream like as a dream, so you can slightly see it in the background. And that's it, I'm done with my cards. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos using the Art Anthology products. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the description box below, in the comment box down below. And of course, don't forget to like the video if you liked it. See you soon. Bye.